So luck would have it, my son happened to come by the house as soon as I got home, and so he offered to drop me off up here. So as you can see, we're out here on the Etowah now, and we're going to head off into the woods. I know there's lots of river birch here, some paper birch, there's sycamore, pine, there's all kind of resources here. So we're going to head off into the woods and see if we can accomplish our goal. So sometimes the universe sends you a bone, so I think that that's a sign for us. So let's head off into the woods and make the best use of our time. As soon as my girl gets Cameron out of the doctor's office, she's going to come over here and pick us up, or pick me up. Pick us up. Stupid. So as soon as Veda's done at the hospital, so as soon as Veda is done with the doctor with Cameron, she's going to come by here and pick me up here at the end of the day. So let's quit hesitating. Let's get out in the woods and see if we can figure out if we can make this happen or not. Let's go find some river birch. The game trails are everywhere through here. I can see sign of hog. I can see sign of deer. But here, check this out. Here's a field right here where deer have been walking around. Check it out. And if you're smart about it, you can utilize those trail systems to get through some really nasty stuff. There's a lot of thorns, thickets out here, and if you can just follow that trail, you don't have to get all nasty, tangled up in it and everything. So we're gonna continue to follow this trail and see if we can find us a way out of here. Now this is what I'm talking about right here. Really nasty. That's like Neolithic period nasty. I think I just spotted us a way over. Oh yeah. I don't know if y'all can see that really well, but that's a nice sized deer right there, and I'm just following the path that this deer is taking, and it's got me through pretty well so far. We're going to try to get across. This is actually Cons Creek that's right next to us, and the goal is going to be to get onto the other side. We're going to try to be about I'm going to say 200 to 300 yards off of the Etowah River. It's pretty windy out there, so being tucked back in the woods is going to keep us from getting cold. So let's find a way to get across. There's another track, and I went ahead and put my foot right next to it just so y'all could get a size comparison. So all you trackers out there, go ahead and post in the comments what you think that track is right there. Now I'm seeing a lot of river birch here, and there's a lot of sycamore, and right over in there is where we want to get to. But as you can see, it's going to be kind of hard to get there. But that's definitely the area that I want to get to. So we're going to keep on going down just a little bit and see if we can cross over a little further down. Some really thick stuff through here. Check this out. Ow. Wow, ow! Swallowed me whole. Ouch. Even took my hat, man. That's what I'm talking about. A way over. Man, this is just some nasty terrain that I'm navigating here. A lot of thorns. And we've got to jump over this without getting caught up in these thorns. Don't want to get caught up in those thorns. But we've got a slight drop off here. We're gonna go ahead and jump onto the log. And now we're gonna walk across. Now, anytime you do something like that, you cross a downed log tree, like as a bridge, make sure you commit to it. If you're gonna do it, just go ahead and do it. Don't think about it too much, or you might fall in. Now, it doesn't matter what direction I look in, there is river cane everywhere. Just take a look at this, it's everywhere. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna find a piece that's suitable for tapping the tree out. We are not gonna hurt this system whatsoever. So I'm gonna be picky and find the exact one that I want. All right, so I found a piece of suitable river cane for our purposes. And here it is right here. Now, in the spirit of you know, my grandfather, what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize the saw on my Huntsman, and I'm going to cut this thing down, and I'll explain when we get to whatever tree we're going to tap why I chose such a large piece of river cane. Looks like somebody's looking for game. Well, they're definitely in the right spot. All right, so here's a suitable tree right here. I figured I'd go ahead and just tap this tree right here. This is a river birch. As you can see, the bark, it just peels right off of it. It's great for fire starting, in fact. But y'all probably already know that. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get out my canteen here. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna place the cup on the ground. We're gonna do this one close to the ground. We don't actually have to get up real high on this one. So the reason that I got a really large, thick piece of river cane is because I thought it'd be neat to come out here with the old Swiss Army knife just to show you that you don't have to have, you know, an awesome survival knife like this Survive GSO 5.1 in order to come out here and enjoy yourself and learn something. You can just take that little bitty old Swiss Army knife out of the closet in the box of knives that you got put up, and use the saw to go ahead and cut the river cane. And we're going to use this blade to bore the hole. And you'll notice this blade is pretty thick, and so just for comparison, I'm going to show you. All right, we're going to bore a hole, and we need to make sure that our spile, which we're going to use river cane for, is able to fit into the tree. And so I don't have a drill bit with me today. I just opted not to do that. I figured I'd show you how to do it on the cheap, so or on the inexpensive, I guess I should say. So let's get the boring in this tree. All right, so what I did was I put the spile into the tree, and I just took a little dirt and wrapped it around the spile, just so the water would form into the hole there. And as you can see, it's working. So check this out. Now I figure while that's working behind us, we're going to go off and we're going to look for some other resources and let that work for us while we're out there doing that. So let's go have some fun. What the heckle is that? If you know what that is, post it down in the comments. So if you know what that jelly stuff is, go ahead and post it in the comments, all you bushcrafters. All right, if you're allergic to poison ivy, get away from the screen. That's gnarly, man. Well, I found a butt ton of firewood. It's all around us. So now we know where to come. It's just inside the woods off the Etowah, about 300 yards, and we're really close to where we set up for our birch tree. So this is a good spot. Now here's an example of a live birch tree right here. You'll notice that the bark just wants to peel right off the tree. This stuff's great, like I said, for lighting fires. But another use for birch, besides carving utensils out of it and whatnot, it's good for burning to keep insects away. Any of the resinous trees that are out here, like this birch, are really good for that. The insects haven't come in yet. It's still a little bit chilly out, but they're on its way. And like I said, it's important to find those resources and know where they're at, so that later when we come back, we know where we can source this stuff. Now, since we're talking about trees today and we've done a little identification, I figured I'd show you this one, being that it's winter and everything. Sycamore is just really easy to tell. I'm going to show you the bark, and you'll notice how it gets smoother as it goes up the tree. It almost looks like camouflage. Check it out. There you have it. The leaf of the sycamore. So I thought I'd go ahead and grab some of this wood right here, and maybe we'd make a little fire while we're out here. This stuff is dead as a doornail. Wind's really starting to pick up. I really just want a small fire so that I can make some coffee. It's been a long day. Been doing a lot of tracking out here. Seen signs of deer, turkey, and even bear. I really wanted to show y'all a print, but it just would not pick up in the camera. It really upset me bad. But there's a lot of wild game out here. Be a great place to hunt. And I found more cameras out here as well. So somebody's obviously onto it. But anyway, yeah, just a small quick fire. I just wanted to make some coffee real quick, and while we're waiting on our birch tree. There's something up in the woods right now. It's getting later in the day. I'm just waiting for these coals to burn down a little bit so I can make some coffee while we're waiting on our birch sap, or birch water, I guess I should say. This time of year, they're pulling all that moisture out of the ground because they're about to flower out, so it's a great time to do it. Thought I'd eat some trail mix. You know, this isn't the good stuff that we have out at the school that my girl makes. Amazing. But this is what I used to carry when I was a kid with my grandfather. So I thought it'd be good to go back down that road again. Trusty old Swiss Army knife. I would not say that this is a viable survival knife, but you can do a lot with it if you know what you're doing. That is so good. Man, I love hoop cheese. We definitely have some good coals now. Wow. It's really hot. Gunshot. Somebody shoot. I think we should see what our birch tree is done now. We can actually take a measurement here. If you're looking there, it's probably around 12 ounces. Yeah, that's not bad. It's not bad at all. Got a little bug in there. Come here, buddy. Now, something you can do, you know, or something that you should do is you should plug the hole before you leave. You don't want to be going around just, you know, damaging trees and everything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this river cane though, and I'm going to make a plug, and I'm going to go ahead and put that plug into the tree, and when we come back, we'll be able to pull that plug and we'll be able to re-tap into the tree to get more water. So it's real simple. Just take your little MacGyver knife, cut yourself a little plug off. Safety first. Don't want to lose it either. Now you can just plug the tree. There you have it. The tree is plugged. Boom. Now I only get to do this once a year, so you know this is actually a pretty special time for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and see what this tastes like. Man, that is so good. Every time I drink it, it's amazing. I mean, you don't have to do anything to it, and it's so good for you too. Man, that's good. Swish it around in your mouth. It's like a fine scotch. Man, that's good stuff, y'all. It really doesn't get any better than that. I mean, it's naturally filtered through the tree for you. Just make sure you watch out for cross-contamination. Make sure that your cup doesn't have anything in it. I'm gonna go ahead and drink this down though, and I'm gonna pour some water out of my canteen back into this cup, and make some coffee real quick for the journey home. Man, that's good stuff. So something else you can do is you can take some of your river cane and you can make a blow stick with it too for the fire. All right, she's boiling now. So we're gonna go ahead and take it off the fire. And make our coffee. I'm gonna make me a little coffee stirrer. Bet you didn't know they had Starbucks, or bushcrafters had Starbucks out in the woods, huh? Guess some of you millennials might get out here then, find that out. Heck, there's a via tree right over there. I promise. Starbucks. I've got to blame Mrs. Bryant for this. Alex's mom, my partner, she totally spoiled me on this. You see, growing up back at camp, it was a big deal. I'm serious. Like knowing how to make coffee, how to float the grinds properly and all that. It was like a whole process. It was like something that you had to do to become a man, like a bar mitzvah or something, learning how to make coffee. And then she gives me this little packet of goodness and ruined me. And sometimes she'll just throw me one. I keep them, put them in my bag. Oh, stuff is so good, yeah. Maybe I should take some birch water and make some via coffee with it. This is vanilla. I love vanilla. But after this, I should be ready to go. So while I'm sitting here drinking my Starbucks coffee, I just had a moment to kind of reflect on the day, and wow, how much ground we've covered today out here. This is a really special spot. My girlfriend, she grew up here. This is where her family grew crops, and this is a very special place to her, and I really appreciate her sharing it with me, because now I can come out here. This is such a resource rich area, and I'm just really glad that I could get out here. And I'm just really glad that I could bring y'all out here with me as well, to enjoy this. Hopefully you learned something, little self-satisfaction. Sometimes God makes a way for you. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get out here and tap a tree or not, but luck would have it. We made the best of it, and then Brennan shows up and gives me a ride. So I need to say thanks to him for bringing me out here. I didn't think it was going to happen, but it did happen, and I've had a great day out here in the woods. I really needed this for my soul, and I'm a little tired now from trekking all over the place, but I've got my coffee here. I'll be re-energized in a minute. I need to see if I can send a text out to my girl so she can come get me later. But even if something happened, I talked earlier about being prepared. You definitely need to be prepared. I've got enough stuff with me that if it does get cold, there's plenty of resources out here for me to make a fire and to make a shelter. I've still got some food left, trail mix. I've still got some of that hoop cheese. And I spotted a few wild edibles while I was out here as well. So I'm not really concerned about that. I still have access to water. Heck, I've already got a tree tapped, so I'm not worried about that at all. The only thing that I'd be worried about, I guess, would be, if my cell phone wasn't able to get a text out. But I may have to, go find a spot where I can get service. There's absolutely no service down here. It's almost impossible to get service. So maybe if I get up to a high enough spot, I can get that text out to her, so she can meet me later tonight after I trek myself out of here. But for now, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to enjoy my coffee and try to soak it all up and reflect on the day. So, if you're thinking about getting out there and trying some of this stuff, bushcraft, fieldcraft, wildcraft, survival, whatever you want to call it, just get out there. Just do it. You don't have to have a lot of real expensive stuff or gear to do that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've got tons of gear at home, and I've got tons of gear out at the school. I've got stuff for my SAR team, I've got stuff for hunting, I've got stuff for camping and hiking, but that's just stuff that I've acquired over my whole entire life, people have given me stuff. I've got gifts, things that, people that I look up to, admire, and respect, that have helped me out in my journey along the way. And, energy flows where attention goes. So, if you really want to do this and you just don't see how it's possible, well, it's not going to be possible. You just need to get out there and do it. You don't have to have a whole lot to get out here and have fun. And that's really the moral of the story. You can go out there with your knife that you got in 3rd grade, and you can go out and you can have a good time. So there's something off in the distance over there checking us out. I mean, it's just a guy off in the woods talking to himself, right? I guess I'd be checking him out too. I swear to God, that looks like weed. Wouldn't surprise me. Man, it's just so peaceful. I love being away from everything. I love it. Right now there's nobody here. Nobody around me. I don't hear any cars. There's planes and helicopters in the distance, but there always is. It's really nice right now. Won't be too much longer. We need to get out of this swampy area because hogs and bears and deer and all this stuff that likes to come out at night. This is a really rich environment too. There's a lot of edibles over here for them. I've got a 45, but I should have brought a 10 mil. Yep. Always an adventure though. Got those spidey senses kicking in now. The hunter in me. Well, it's starting to get dark, and I need to track my butt out of here. That's what I need to do. So I'm gonna finish up my coffee and I'm gonna get out of here. All right, so I went ahead and cleaned up the ashes and everything. I took some water out of a standing puddle and just went ahead and poured it over it. Any of the pieces of wood that were left over, I just went ahead and threw into the puddle just to make sure. I went ahead and surveyed the campsite just to make sure that I picked everything up. I went ahead and sent out the text to my girl so she can come pick me up. Hopefully the text went through. Yeah, it's getting late in the day, and the cold is about to come in. The wind just started picking up, and I've really enjoyed myself out here, but we really got to get back before it gets dark. All right, so let's do it. I think we'll show our ass to these hunters on camera. Check it out. Here we go. My mom always said that I came out Birch, and I started showing my ass to the world the second I came out. Got a rep to protect. So who can tell me what that is? Go ahead, post it in the comments. Oh, it's our tree. Our bridge. I don't see any trolls. Guess we should just cross. tracks. Well, sometimes you've just got to go through it. There's no going around it. Let's do it. Prime hog territory here. Game trail. Much easier. Sometimes after a trip like this, you deserve a hot, juicy burger. Only problem is, the attendant disappeared. How often do you find a Wendy's out in the wilderness? Man, I don't want a burger. I'm starving. Not really, but sounds good, right? Yeah. So I thought I'd take the time to show you all this. This is my girlfriend's favorite tree. When she was young and even now, she'll actually come to this tree. And if you've been watching this video, then you should know what type of tree it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you in. See if y'all can guess what kind of tree that is. She loves fishing off of it though, and sometimes when she needs to clear her mind, this is a spot that she goes to. So whenever I pass this tree, I think of her. So I thought I should include that. Love you. Check this out. I gotta admit, I didn't know that plastic roses grew out of poison ivy. It really doesn't, okay? Aha! I knew it! It's like the food rapture, it's all gone. Now that just doesn't make sense. Things are making sense now. Very, very interesting.